Have you ever wondered what it was like to be a vendor and what a vendor actually does every single day of the week? Because obviously they're not out selling. Well, I've been spending this last several episodes talking about what I do, and I'm up to Saturday. So today we're talking about what we do on Saturdays. Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach, author of 5 food truck vending books, including Food Truck 101 and Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Table Needs welcomes you to listen in as Christian and Tracy, co-owners of Restless Coffee, spill the beans on their debut year in the food truck scene, uncover the secrets behind their secret menu, how they continually provide stellar customer service, and why building a strong community following is so important. Click the link in the episode description to watch the video for free. Just to remind you guys, catch up just real quick. We live in the Panhandle of Florida. We are halfway between Definiak Springs, Florida and the Alabama border. We live in an RV park. The RV park has about 150 spots, and of those 150 spots, over half of them are permanent residents, and then the other spots are transient, whether it's somebody that only comes here seasonally like a snowbird, or they're spots that change out every week or every couple of weeks with new residents. So we'll always have an inflow of new visitors as well as older folks that are here all the time. The RV park also has a number of cabins right on the lake that they rent out, so we have people coming in every weekend. So we have opportunities to sell a decent amount of food. We intentionally only stay within the park, so we have a spot where we're hooked up to power, water, and sewer. But we have the ability to move the trailer if we want. It is completely mobile and we can go wherever we want. We choose to stay in the park. Our break-even point is relatively low, so we can be happy staying within the park. So having said all that, we have talked about what we do on our days off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've talked about Thursday, mainly focused on breakfast. I've talked about Friday, mainly focused on lunch. Today, I'm going to talk about how Saturdays work for us. And this is consistent with how we both remember Saturdays anywhere we've ever been. And then what we do when we get off of work. So a Saturday for us is going to be more families. We have a lot more of the transient people coming in, staying in those cabins I mentioned, or they brought their RV in for the weekend. Or we have one family that actually leaves their RV here year round, and they come probably every other weekend. When they come, they're bringing their grandkids, so they're coming to eat with us at least once, if not both Saturday and Sunday, and they're ordering between $50 and $75 worth of food. So we don't mind seeing them when they come in. We got to know them really, really well. So our day, again, jump up at 5:30, check the Facebook group out, and then I'm going to go take a shower, get done with the shower, wake Melissa up, and then I'm headed over to the food truck to get all the equipment turned on, triple sink set up, and get all of the leftover food reheated to the proper temperature of 165, and then put it in its holding units. And then Melissa comes over about 30 minutes before we open, sometimes 15 minutes before we open. She sets up her station. Her station is obviously set up already from when we closed, but the only thing she has to do is transition eggs. She's got to put eggs up where she can reach them, because she doesn't need eggs at lunch, but she does need them at breakfast. Everything else is on the top of the prep table, already ready to go. If she has to cut something like lettuce or tomatoes, she'll do that in between orders and get herself ready for lunch. So our service on a Saturday is very consistent with what we would have when we worked in restaurants. Breakfast tends to be a little bit later because people are sleeping in. I don't always have a push at 7 o'clock or 7:15, but by 8 o'clock, people are up, they're out, they got the kids, and they're coming and they're ordering bigger meals. Through the week, and for us, the week is Thursday, Friday, people will come and order sandwiches because they're on the way to work or they're on the way to, walking their dog or whatever. So they're getting something small. On both Saturday and Sunday, they're getting bigger meals. So we're selling more platters, more biscuits and gravy, more of the knife and fork kind of thing. And that's okay. We like doing that because they have a higher ticket average. We don't mind those. We also have some workers that are off on the weekends. Construction workers, they eat a lot and they come as a group. It's like they all get up at once and they all come over and they each get a platter and they each get a lemonade. So those are $10 to $12 orders and we love seeing them come over. So the breakfast tends to be about the same guest count as Thursday and Friday, but the guest check average is much higher and the orders are a little bit more complex, which is okay. We like being busy. Again, Melissa and I have it worked out where she has certain things that she can do. I can step off the cash register and do other things to help her out to get her set up. For example, the biscuits and gravy, I can do those myself. All I gotta do is wash my hands, open up the biscuit warmer, which is where the biscuits are, as well as the gravy. And it's on my side of the trailer. So Melissa doesn't even have to walk down there for a single biscuit and gravy. She's at least a little bit busy with other orders. So I can get those out. A sausage biscuit, not requiring an egg or cheese on it, I can make as well. The biscuits are there, the sausage is there. So I can make some of those simpler orders and get them out quickly. Or to help Melissa, if she has a complicated order that includes those items, I can make those while she is working on something else. It's all about line pacing. We have had as many as 8 different families and single orders come up at one time to do breakfast. And typically what I do is I take the first 3 to 4 orders, depending upon their complexity, and then I stop and tell the other folks in line, hey, I'm going to be right back with you. I got to get some of this food off the truck. And then I work to get at least one order out. Once I got one order out, I'm going to take another order. And I keep doing that pattern until we've eliminated the line that we have. If it's slow, I typically will tell people just have a seat, relax, and I will bring the food out to you as soon as it gets done. And I walk the food out to them, give them that little bit of personal service. And I get a lot of good compliments on that. On our menu, we accept credit cards. And we all know that people don't read the walls of words that we put up as menus. But a lot of people read my credit card thing because I made it colorful for one. It's all the different logos of the different credit cards. And underneath it in very big bold lettering, I have fee free. Now, that brings up conversations. A lot of people don't realize that food trucks charge a fee for credit cards. And you know why that is? Because the owners are afraid to tell somebody, I'm going to charge you money to give me money. So they just do it on the sly. They'll put up a little teeny tiny sign to meet the requirement that says that they have a cash discount or that there's going to be some type of service fee for using a credit card. So it's in little teeny tiny letters if it's up there at all. And then they slide in that fee, and they'll be the ones that'll go in our Facebook group and say, I've been doing this for 2 years, nobody complained. That's because you don't tell them. It's because you don't ask them. I guarantee you, if you said to a guest, when they come up and order, you tell them your total is $20. And oh, by the way, I'm going to charge you an extra $2 for you to give me money. They're going to say, no, thank you. I will go somewhere else. No amount of double talk in the world about I'm a small business and I can't handle credit cards is going to change somebody's mind. So how people get away with it is they don't tell them. Little teeny tiny fine print, I'm charging you a fee. And then they just slide it in there. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. But I'm bold. I tell people, I don't charge you a fee. So it brings up that conversation. People are asking me, what does that mean? I tell them, and I'll tell them by name what food trucks do it. Next time you're at our Food Truck Friday, go up to this particular food truck, order food, don't have a credit card out and don't have cash out. See what the total is. Now, bring out your credit card. Bring out your debit card. The total will change. And why is that? Because they don't understand basic math. So I bring that conversation up. I'm educating the public. I'm making them ask the hard questions of the food truck owners that are trying to be sneaky and slide in that fee because they don't understand math. And I'm going to tell you this again. I said it every single time I talk about credit card processing fees. When you have a profitability problem, I can promise you it is not the 3% fee that you're paying. I can promise you that. Your problem is going to be in food costs. Your problem is going to be in wasted labor. It's going to be in propane consumption because you're not monitoring your equipment. It's going to be in the gasoline that you're putting in your generator because you're not monitoring your equipment. You're not turning stuff off when you're slow. You're not turning it down when it gets a little bit slow. You're just letting it burn all day long. You were cheap and you didn't buy thermostatically controlled griddles, so they burn all day long. That's why you're constantly fiddling with the knob. And then you want to charge somebody a processing fee because you made bad decisions all through your food truck startup. So I'm out teaching people, ask, how much you charging me with that credit card? And then I tell them, don't accept it. Tell them, no, you can't charge me that. Because a debit card you can't charge on. That is actually written in law. But the credit card processors won't tell you that because they want you to charge somebody 4%, which is way more than you would have paid because they want to gouge that customer. They want to live off the sweat of your brow by providing a little piddly service that don't cost them hardly anything. So don't fall for the credit card processing schemes. Be brave. Tell people we proudly accept credit cards and we don't charge you a fee. So when somebody comes up to me and says, hey, do you take credit cards? I always joke with them and say, yep, and I'll give it back to you too. I get that comment at least once or twice a day. People are thrilled that I take credit cards for one, and then they're very thrilled that I'm not charging them a fee to do it. So that's on our menu. Saturday's just like any other day of the week, just bigger orders. We have roughly the same ticket count. Lunch can be the same way. What we have found on our Saturday lunches, though, is that they tend to run later. Again, people get up late, so they're going to eat lunch later. We have had many Saturdays where we've had almost all of our lunch crowd come between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. Now, I'm also one of those people that, again, remember I told you that our training of the guests that live around us is if the flags are up, we're open. So the very first thing I do at 1 o'clock is go out and pull the flags down. So that way people know from a distance, hey, they're closed. But I've had people that have come up to us 10 minutes after we're closed, and Melissa and I just happen to be outside. Oh, you guys closed? Not for you. What would you like? Now, it's going to take us a few minutes to reheat some equipment, but we'll cook whatever you want. I got a $35 order out of somebody we did that for. I could have been a jerk and said, nope, sorry, 1 o'clock, we're closed, hit the road. But I like money. I like impressing people. I like doing more than the competitors are willing to do. Last week, walked outside, and I was actually late in pulling down the signs. We had an order that came right at 1 o'clock, and I helped Melissa get it out. So I walked outside. It was about 7 minutes after 1, and I pulled down the 2 flags that we have up. And I noticed somebody walking across the walkway that we have. It's a little wooden little bridge across the drainage ditch that they have, and they've made it all real pretty. And the guy's walking across, and he's making a beeline for us, and I'm thinking, he's coming here. So I just stayed outside, waited for him to get all the way across the bridge, across the road. And he comes up to me and says, oh, are you guys closed? He had visited us the day before. He was a transient. He's going to be gone. Probably never ever see him again. And I could have been rude and said, yep, I'm closed. But I said, no. If you want something, I'd be happy to go in there and cook it for you. And he said, hey, that Italian I got yesterday was so awesome. Can I have one? Said, not a problem. I'll go in and make you an Italian real quick. He says, you know what? I would like to have 2. So I made a $20 order just because I was not willing to say, hey, dude, 1 o'clock, you're late, hit the road. Now, what's interesting is the very next day, go out and close at 1 o'clock. There's nobody around, nobody I can see. Melissa takes off because she's got to go to the store. And I'm in there cleaning up, sweeping, getting the trash and all that, getting ready to leave. And I walk outside, and there's somebody walking up going, did we miss you? And I said, well, we closed at 1. And by that point, it was about 25 after. And I said, I'd be happy to go in and cook you something. And she said, oh, no. I don't want you to cook anything. I just want to come over and check your menu out. We'll be back tomorrow. I've heard really good things about you. But I showed her that, hey, I'm willing to go back in and cook. You got money, I'll take it. Don't say no to your guests. Figure out how to say yes. On Saturdays, I told you what it's like. As soon as we get closed on Saturdays, we are looking at our inventory and what we've got out, what we need to thaw, because we will be open on Sunday, but then we're closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we've got to pull out enough food and prep enough food to get through Sunday, but not have so much food that we have it all left over, because we can't carry it to the next Thursday. Whatever's left over, that becomes mine and Melissa's dinners, lunches, and breakfasts for the next few days. Now, I intentionally set up breakfast a little bit heavy, so I have stuff for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I don't mind if we sell out, because, hey, that means we've been busy. And if we don't sell out, I've got breakfast for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Because I told you guys that's part of my routine, is to go over and check out the trailer, cook my breakfast, or heat up my breakfast, and record the temperatures. So on a Saturday, we're looking very carefully at our inventory. What do we think we're going to do on Sunday? We base the Sunday's projection on what we have done through the week and what our history is on a Sunday. We have had some extremely busy Sundays. Have no idea why, because there's no pattern that I can discern as of yet. I'm sure there is, but I haven't figured it out yet. We can do 15, 20 orders on a Sunday, or we can do 5. It has been that much of a difference on Sundays. It's to the point where we have actually discussed about not being open on Sundays. So we've got to be very careful on what we're pulling out. I hate telling people no. We've had to do it a couple of times, but fortunately, any time that we have run out, it's been within the last 45 to 30 minutes we're open. So I don't mind that as much as running out at noon and we're still open till 1. That bothers me. It bothers Melissa. So we're looking at the food to make sure we got enough to get to 1 o'clock on Sunday, but to not have too much. And that becomes a balancing act. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we are eating a lot of food Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes not so much. So we're looking at that, and then what we got to pull out to get us through a Sunday. Our biscuits is usually our biggest challenge, our biscuits and our bread. Our sub rolls come in frozen, and our biscuits come in frozen. Both of those obviously have to thaw before they're able to be served. The biscuits had to be at room temperature before they're put in the oven. Otherwise, they come out extremely dry, and it takes much longer for them to heat up in the middle. The sub rolls are fantastic, but they take about 3 hours to thaw. So we've got to think pretty far ahead to make sure we've got enough to get through, but not having too many. Because once they're out, they got to remain thawed. And if they're out too long, they'll mold, just like any other bread will. What we do when we get done cleaning up, we are extremely efficient at cleaning up. Even if we have orders right up until 1 o'clock, we are done usually by 10 to 15 after at the latest. And that includes counting the drawer. That includes sweeping the floors, taking out all the trash, doing all the dishes, and getting ourselves set up for success for the very next day. Once we go home, so I'll tell you a little bit about our evenings, and this is going to be pretty common for whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Once we get home, I've got to catch up the Facebook group. I usually try to do it on my phone throughout the day, but it's not always possible. So I got to get it all the way caught up, do all the moderation alerts, let people in that want it in, and then answer any questions that are directed specifically at me. I've also got to be thinking about what I'm doing for my business to get us set up for the next week so I can make more money on the coaching side. If I got a presentation to make, I'm working on that presentation. So that's what I'm doing on Saturday evening. Melissa is looking at what we've sold, how well is it selling. She's looking at sales mixes, trying to figure out, do we really need to keep this product? Should we be dropping this product? What can we do to make it sell better? And she sits and looks at that stuff for quite a long time. Our relaxation is doing the food truck. We have done this business so long that we find a lot of fun in doing sales mixes and inventories and talking about what we can do better. This is just our livelihood. It is not pressure to us. We love what we do. And that's what you guys got to get in your mind. How can we make this more fun for ourselves? It shouldn't be stressful. Are you going to be stressed? Sometimes, yes. We had those groups of 8 people walk up at one time. It gets a little hectic because, again, we're very linear in how we cook. We don't have the ability to cook 15 eggs at one time. And again, we did that on purpose. I'm an all-electric truck. We have no propane. I have a monitoring system on my truck, so I know exactly how much wattage we pull, so I know what size generator we need, and I have one if we were to go somewhere and set up like downtown. And I know that we can run everything we got on our generator that we currently have. I've also got a backup generator just in case, so I'm not going to have a power issue. But we are an all-electric truck. I don't deep fry. I don't have a flat top. I do different things. Again, intentional. So we are up to Sunday. So tomorrow I'm going to tell you all about Sunday and how it's a little bit different than all the other days of the week because we got to start running out of food. And we got to start figuring out what we can keep to the next Thursday and what's got to be discarded. And when I mean discarded, means it comes off the inventory and then it goes into our personal at-home inventory for our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.